Right, so the Jeremy Corbyn film, The Big Lie. Have you managed to see it yet? Have you been checking the Platform Films website for viewings near you? If not, did you catch the online showing of it on the Not the Andrew Marr show recently? Well, whether you've seen it yet or not, if you're on the left, don't know about it. And it's been the response from those who have not seen it, which have triggered talks of a sequel. How so, Damo? Surely The Big Lie covered, well, everything, didn't it? The character assassinations, the weaponisation of anti-Semitism, the internal sabotage going on in the Labour Party. What else could it cover? Well, if the original is called, Oh, Jeremy Corbyn, The Big Lie, perhaps the sequel ought to be called, Oh, Jeremy Corbyn, The Big Ban. You see, the original film has undergone a bit of a Frankie Goes to Hollywood relax moment, in that banning it has only made more people want to see it. And there's no let up in people still wanting to see it. You haven't been able to. And in part, that has been as a result of being denied the opportunity to, and the sequel, which is already in pre-production, I suppose is the filmmaker terminology, which will be centred around all of the tactics used by various entities, from those who choose to weaponise anti-Semitism, to the Labour Party itself, to the trade union Unite, which under Sharon Graham has been notable in its decision to ban the film from being shown in its buildings, to stop people from being able to see it. And although I say it's in pre-production here, according to the filmmaker of the original, Norman Thomas, this sequel will be out before the end of this year. Now, I've covered numerous instances of this film being banned, and the common theme throughout has been that the film is anti-Semitic. It is not. It's a claim that has not been substantiated in any sort of meaningful way. But it hasn't needed to be. Just the mere accusation has far too many people running away for fear of being accused of being a racist, an anti-Semite, a Jew hater, when none of us are anything of the sort. We're just people who will call out bullshit wherever we see it, and if those who oppose us doing so are the sort of people who are prepared to stoop so low as to weaponise something as depraved as anti-Semitism, which of course is a genuine and real issue in our society, societal ill, not a uniquely Labour Party one, and never was, then we shouldn't be afraid of such people. We should be utterly disgusted by them and treat them with absolute contempt. We should be disgusted by the likes of those who went to the sponsors of Glastonbury Festival and got the main showing of Oh, Jeremy Corbyn, The Big Lie that had been advertised there shut down. But of course, smaller ad hoc showings then sprang up around the festival, and arguably more people ended up seeing it because of that. It's probably better advertising for the film than any it had had previously, as all of a sudden people were organising showings everywhere, from church halls, public buildings, and affiliated organisational buildings too. Still, the desire to clamp down and ban the film continued, though. I covered an instance at Leicester University where the Labour Society complained about the film being shown, though too late to stop it in that instance. There were the Welsh Labour councillors warned off watching a showing of the film. Then we come to Unite, one of the largest trade unions in the country, run by Sharon Graham, a woman who has put Keir Starmer on notice more times than I called him Keith, and yet still funds him and his party and offers her support to him and his party, a man who is a self-declared Zionist without qualification. Well, there was the instance where Portsmouth Unite members were banned from showing the film in a Unite property there and were forced to move to a church hall, fortunately available so the showings could go ahead. There was the more high-profile incident more recently than that, though, where the film and a book signing by weaponising anti-Semitism author Asa Winstanley was due to take place, and both got banned. And I've covered those incidents in other videos in more detail, so I'm not going to repeat those stories here now. But interestingly, Unite might have marked a shift in the anti-Semitism narrative a little bit. It's a sign that perhaps people are no longer being scared off and cowed by false accusations made against them, as were levelled against Jeremy Corbyn, because Unite have pointed to, and they feel identified the reason why, oh, Jeremy Corbyn, The Big Lie, is anti-Semitic, and why they have justified their decision to ban the film from all of its buildings. First and foremost, they've already tried to justify it once on the basis that it is a Labour Party issue and not theirs. However, as an affiliated trade union, you can appreciate Unite members weren't buying that. So it looks like Team Sharon have tried to improve on their justification, which makes it no more believable, frankly, because what they're saying now is the issue. Why did they not come out and say this from the start? At any rate, Unite management are now saying the film contains a clip of rabbis with a voiceover stating the enemy within. Now, if such a thing were to have featured in the film, that would be problematic. Attributing that phrase the enemy within is a vicious anti-Semitic trope, and indeed this is what Unite are now claiming. To me, it just smacks of Sharon Graham's Unite climbing over itself to try and appease Starmer. But of course, they haven't seen it. If they had, they'd know they were talking complete nonsense. The phrase, the enemy within, is used in the film. It comes up in the form of text before going on to talk about the enemy within that they talk about, which is part of the film that does not relate in any way, shape or form to anti-Semitism or any form of anti-Jewish hatred. It actually talks about the internal Labour Party sabotage going on, the anonymised messages from Labour Party staffers happening behind the scenes at Labour HQ to bring Jeremy Corbyn and his organisation down. Other parts of the film do feature rabbis and do feature Orthodox Jews, and indeed has many Jewish contributors to the film, from Alexei Sale narrating it to prominent Jewish left figures contributing to it, from Jackie Walker to Moshe Mashaver. But these show Corbyn engaging with members of the Jewish faith in good faith, them welcoming him and being pleased to see him. Hardly the actions of the rampant anti-Semites, the media, and members of his own party led us to believe that he was. Unite are utterly embarrassing themselves again here, and I can only imagine they, like the Labour Party, like the campaign against anti-Semitism, are going to really hate having their dishonesty exposed once again in another film focusing on them, that if they try and ban too, will, in all likelihood, again, only drive further demand for people to see it. Unite has also placed these other bad faith actors in a quandary. Do they support Unite's messaging here and now and be exposed to the same ridicule Unite are now getting again over this film? Or do they ignore it, uncharacteristically for them, thereby throwing Unite under the bus as being even worse than they are in the weaponisation of anti-Semitic narratives? Either way, the film gets even more attention, the lies said about it get even more widely debunked, and the disgusting behaviour of those who chose to use racism as a political stick to beat someone who was a threat to the establishment with trashes the reputations of those involved, and deservedly so. Bring on the sequel then. Certain people are going to absolutely hate it. I'm sure I'm going to absolutely love it, and love covering, making a little video of my own and covering the narratives exposed in that too, because I dare say they found a lot more than I've covered thus far. Thanks for watching. I hope you found the video useful. Please like, share, and subscribe if you did. More content out daily. Do leave a comment and join in on the conversation. Meanwhile, here's a video recommendation for you where the Unite censorship of the Corbyn film has been linked directly to Sharon Graham herself, right at the top of Unite. And I'll hopefully catch you on the next vid. Cheers, folks.